Thank you for tuning into The Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Ariel Morocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and the interdimensional seer. Together they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources regarding many influences on our planet today. Our new format allows you to ask questions and hear the answers from the previous show. Post your question in the comment section below the YouTube video. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Okay, so hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. And I'm joined here with my co-host, Peter the Insider. And we have a special guest today, James Rink from Super Soldier Talk. Everyone's familiar with James. And so James brought in a lot of these topics for many years, many years, and has done a really great job. So we're going to talk about some of your personal experiences today, James. But before then, let's say hello to Peter.
I want to say hello to you, Jessica. I want to greet you, James, and all of our regular, maybe not so regular listeners.
Okay, and hello, James. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for inviting me on here today. It should be an interesting series, whatever we're about to go into. Pick some really interesting topics, in my opinion. So just point the way, or whatever direction you want to take it.
Okay, so we did mention that you wanted to carry on from the last show because obviously we have limited time and we don't want to bombard people with lots of information. And, you know, there's still plenty of time to do, you know, many interviews if we need to get the information out. So we're going to do a continuation of the last show that we did with you, James. So why don't you start and, you know, introduce the topic and then some of the details regarding it.
Okay, so last time I was on here, we discussed of the topics we discussed, one of them was Montauk. And I mentioned I spent 43 years there being re-aged over and over. Although I guess the regressions suggested somewhere between 39 to 43 years. I think Peter said 43, so I'm going to go since he seems to have
Yes, 43 is exact date.
Okay, so
Piece of data. Yeah.
Well, before people start getting confused on how in the world I could possibly be that old, they re-aged me from 7 to 9. Typically, sometimes they got me up to 14. But during this time, one of actually all this started is Jessica had a channel communication with Preston Nichols, and that actually was on my show probably about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago when that first came through. And Preston Nichols wanted me to know that we went back in time to meet George Washington. And so following the lead that you gave me, I decided to, I went to get some regression done, and some of the lady I was working with, she helped me recall two different things. The first one, memory, was I don't even know if I was actually there in the room when this happened, but it was at Washington's home, Mount Vernon, and actually his plantation home / whatever. So there were three men by the fireplace in a room. I saw it looked like a dining room, and it looked like green walls, and I saw the fireplace was on the left, and so Washington was on the right of the fireplace. Benjamin Franklin was sitting on a chair, his legs crossed, and smoking a pipe, and it looked like one of those old wood chairs. But anyway, and then the other guy, I couldn't make out, but I think it's probably Thomas Jefferson, according to another channeler. So there was a conversation amongst these three founding fathers, which you would call them, about, because this was right after the war, and they were discussing about freeing the slaves, and they all wanted to do it, but they were very concerned because they just barely won this war, and the British were still all hovering around the coast trying to impound ships and take over crews, and so they were worried that the British would just quickly come in an event of a civil war. So they decided that to maintain the integrity of the country, they maintain the economic order as is, and they really didn't want to do it. But the timeline actually showed that if they did end slavery back then, between 1790 and 1792, the United States had another civil war, and the United States broke up in half, and it never was brought back together. And then later on in the future, when the NAZIs came to play in World War I, World War II, the United States was easily ripe for invasion. So that was a negative timeline. I know it sounds pretty bad because slavery should not exist, no matter where. In my opinion, it's not something that needs to go away. But so that was the choice. Do we want a strong United States, or we want Anyway, so I just threw that out there. If anybody wants to make a comment, you're welcome.
That actually makes a lot of sense to me, because the nation was just pretty much getting back on their feet, and to launch into a civil war immediately after that over free help. Essentially, that's what the slaves were. Is it helped them to make profits off of free labor, essentially, and that was the appeal over it. In which colonization, Peter and the ACIO, has a lot to say about their major problem that they had with colonization, and that should have been resolved a long time ago, but carried over into the so-called New World over here in the U.S. And but it's a very complex topic, and it's interesting that that's the conversation that you stepped into. But one of my questions is do you recall what you looked like when you were there?
Hold on a second. I want to share Can I share my screen, please?
Yes.
This is relevant to the conversation. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Google Street View, and this is the angle that I was at, and I was looking right here, and I was like, and then I went on Google Street View, and I saw this room. It's like, whoa.
This is inside Washington's early
this is
home.
Mount Vernon. Yeah, so Washington was over here. So I don't think this table was.
Probably not. It doesn't look like it. It looks more like a parlor.
Yeah, I don't think that table was there when I saw this. And they were like Franklin was looking at the fire, and the other two guys, or at least maybe Jefferson, was looking out the window, looking at the plantation over here. That's the front. So anyway, so I was like, wow, even the green colored walls. And I even saw that checkerboard pattern down there. But anyway, so I just thought I'll share that. Now, your question was what, Jessica?
Do you recall what you looked like? How old you were and how you were dressed?
No, I didn't see myself. Well, okay, not in this one, but the next one I did. So let me go to that in one. So the next regression, and that's where I went back in time to see when I met George Washington in Montauk, and so I saw myself walking down an old a wooded forest area, dirt road. I was with Preston, and I saw another woman with us. I think they were posing as, well, Preston was posing as my father, but I don't know. I think the other lady was maybe posing as my mom or something. I don't know. But so there was this old stone inn, and by the way, it looked like it was late April, because I remember seeing the trees just bare leaves coming on, and it was around 7, 8, maybe 7:30 at night, and there's still a little light out. And so we see this old stone inn, and there's a fireplace. You see the smoke coming out. We go in, and the main entrance area was also served as like a cafeteria, and it wasn't even that big of a place. It almost just looked like a large home. So we go into this room, and we sit down on these picnic tables, and the place looked disgusting. I would not, probably never. I mean, I suppose it's a step up from camping, But so they brought some food in. It was like some hearty type of soup, and it wasn't even that good. But you know what? It certainly filled us up. And there was another room nearby where Washington was some like two other men, and they were looking over maps. So I was programmed to remember all the history of the war. So I was instructed to go in there and tell them that I was a time traveler, and Washington confirmed that that was the case. Indeed, say that. And I started telling him in particular about Benedict Arnold, not to trust Benedict Arnold. And so I also, yeah. But he said that my body movements, my mannerisms, he said, I guess my accent, maybe I didn't fit into the era. So that's why he tended to believe that I was who I said I was. And I did introduce himself as my name of James. And I think this was an inn in Virginia or southern Pennsylvania. That's kind of like where I got. So anybody want to add anything to that?
Did you see what you look like, though? Were you dressed in a certain way?
Yeah, I was definitely in period clothing. I don't have those notes right in front of me.
Was it like brown pants or like knickers type of thing?
Yeah, there were knickers, and it wasn't very comfortable clothing.
Yeah. Like a white shirt, but it's kind of like grayed, from not washed, the way they washed. And there was a jacket, like a brown jacket or something that I saw.
Okay, yeah. I
and a cap. You had a cap
notes.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a cap. But the woman that was next to Preston, I got the name Julie or Julia or something like that. And Peter, is there any female that's connected to Montauk named that by the name of Julie, or anyone that you can identify that was with Preston Nichols there?
Technically, I know for positive. I know for sure that who, I don't want to say can be, who definitely is Julia.
What is her role in the programs?
Give me a second. Programs or program? Because
program of the Montauk. Yeah, that Preston would have been involved with.
How can I say it? Julia is some sort of a header. Not like header like in name, but like once someone want to be, or they want to involve someone to how can I say, to be involved in the project. They used her. No, that's it.
So she was like a recruiter or someone to lure people into?
The stuff is that, she's very smart. And she can attract people not only because she's beautiful, but some sort of, charm or so. So, like some sort of magic, or I don't know how can I call it. And the stuff is that she's from Poland, and technically she's not typically Polish look like. She was infiltrated during Second World War, actually into Nazis, as Waffen, they did a lot of stuff, and actually after this role in quotes, she started to do the stuff for Montauk, because she want to get out of the Europe and try to guess how she get out. With Werner von Braun. Ha! You got it.
She reminded me a bit of like the role that Ghislaine Maxwell had with the Epstein Island is sort of like she was
absolutely,
welcoming and
and
would
that
bring
is
people in.
and that is the stuff, because for example I can see maybe this like what the heck is insider talking about, but I can see, yes, we are Slovak people, they are Czech people, they are Russian, they are Ukrainian, and Polish people have very, how can I say it, characteristic you know, faces, you know, so it is positive. I mean, like for us in within Slavic nations, yeah, she's from Poland. That just by the way, I know her very well, and she was some sort of like, okay, do you want to know this, do you want to know that, and that was it. Like Eve in the Bible, you know, oh, okay, I think you are curious. And that was it. She started to say people things, and people, you know, it's natural for most people. Because it is like if people are more average or less intelligent, and she know how to approach the people. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because the fact that someone is, I don't want to say stupid, but you know, less intelligent doesn't mean that they cannot improve, in quote, subject. Do you know what I mean? Because they are not calling people, but subjects in within Montauk, and that was it. She knows goddamn well what she is or what she was doing, but just by the way, what she's doing, because she's recurringly re-aged and re-aged to the same age. So technically pretty much the same story as you have, James, just by the way. And I was like, okay. And she believed somehow, I don't know, that it will be honey trap for you, in your case, James. And he was like, okay, this is bad. I don't like it, because she got very weird energy. Like, I don't know, how can I call it? Like some sort of uncertainty. Like if you are sensitive or smart, like, do you know what I mean? Intelligent. She's unreadable, and it's like red alerts. Do you know what I mean? Red controls start blinking, and you know the alert the sirens will start to, you know,
danger.
Yeah, the danger. The sirens will start to screaming loud in your head, and that was your case, because it was like, what? I don't like it, but it was way. Once you realize it, man, it was
I'm
too late.
lost.
It was too late.
How is this person related to me? Was she like a handler?
No, James. It wasn't your personal handler. She's main recruiter, and for Montauk. Of course, she built a team of another recruiters. But once there are certain people, they are special. They've got extremely high potential. Then she approached those people herself, and you was the one. And she, you know, calculated bad, because she believed that she will play it, or in your case, as a honey trap. And he was like, no, I don't like that, you know. And it was good that your assumption was good, that no, I don't like this is not okay. But once you realized it, it was too late. You was inside the Montauk. Nah, and that was the problem.
What? So she was being nice to me to get my consent to participate?
Yeah.
Yeah, think of what Ghislaine Maxwell did for Epstein Island, bringing the kids in. It's the same kind of thing. They acted nice, they pull you in. But you know, there's another thing here that maybe we should look at, and it's a sensitive topic. But I believe Max Spears that's where he got, I don't know if you want to say assassinated or hit, was over in Poland, wasn't it? So is this connected to her?
Peter, you got to answer that question. Do you know?
Where did he go?
Are you being attacked, Peter?
So when we talk about these,
Well, we try to get him back. I do have some more information I could about the George Washington stuff. If you want me to continue here.
yeah, let's just wait 1 second. Peter, are you there? Make sure he's not in trouble. Yeah, they cut off he can't speak when we hit a very sensitive topic. And obviously they didn't want to discuss the idea of Max Spears. We brought in a very sensitive, for some reason, that's very critical to the programs. I don't know what, his role was very, very important in some ways.
So
yeah, he's still not back.
he just put his mic on mute. So maybe Peter, maybe you should log out and try logging back in. Try that.
Yeah, but he might be getting attacked because we're talking about someone that we've never talked about before.
Well, I was getting the impression that it was just Preston and myself. And if there was a woman there, she might have been like an informationer, maybe like a psychic seer or one of these seers at Montauk watching us remotely. So I don't know if she was really there physically or not, but I did feel like there was a female presence looking over us. I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, well, there's definitely, you need helpers, and the ones that actually run, work on certain programs, or Preston was probably recruited and then was pulled in, and then you can't get out. It's like it's like a maze, and it's very, very hard to pull out of those things, especially if they get you in pretty deeply, and so but there are those that handle the new ones that come in. So there has to be, honey trap makes total sense, but they use that a lot.
So she was trying to have sex with me or something? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm trying to appeal to you, maybe hint of potential romance, or trying to be attractive, which builds some level of your guard goes down, and then there's trust. And so with trust, then it opens the door where you would go to that next level, and try to enter, here, follow me, we'll get you some food, that kind of thing. So your guard is down. And that's, the honey trap is not necessarily just they want to have sex with you, but more of they're luring you into something. So he referred to the word siren. And if you look at the ancient Greek term for siren, is they would lure the sailors over. They would be by the edge or by the rocks, and they'd lure the sailors in, and then the boat would hit the rocks, and then they would die. They would drown. And it was almost like harvesting people. It's the same.
Yeah. So are you suggesting that this lady perhaps maybe came into one of my school, like elementary school, when I was a child, and then poof, I was in another reality? Is that how it worked, or?
It sounds like as soon as you connect with them in one of these places, then you find out that they showed up earlier in your childhood. And I was going to ask Peter about that. So then they can jump back into your history and start, manipulating things around your life. And then, all the way until the point where you somehow find a way to separate from them. And that's the kind of work that I've done with people, is helping them to break away from these kind of tag-along type of personalities that want to continue to handle you,
Yeah, because I don't really have any memories from the age of 5 and 7, but I don't know if that's common or not. I mean, I suppose, but if that's connected to all this, but anyhow.
Yeah, I think we're still waiting for Peter, and Peter's.
Yeah, Peter, we can't hear you.
I don't know if he's pulled out or.
Well, for starters, his mic is on mute. So maybe, Peter, you should unmute your mic. Try that. I also suggest you log out and log back in. But it's very odd that it's almost like he's not he's not even chatting with us. Maybe
No, something happened. Something happened.
Well, what do you want me to do? Should we stop talking about this topic?
No, I don't think so. I think we can talk about it, but I think he needs to come in, so maybe we can
Peter, can you at least confirm if you can hear us? Chat, put it in the chat box. So I hate to continue without his.
We can piece this together. Ralph can do.
There you are. Yay! Where did you go?
No, never. I'm here. I just she's not happy. Talk about her.
Yep. Was she very involved with James? Is that why?
Yeah. She
was
just
one of her
showed
special projects.
She just showed in front of me and choke with both of her hands and whisper to my ear, "Don't say the stuff about me. The truth is painful. Truth will bring up the suffer, sorrow, and pain." What does it mean? Suffering, sorrow, and pain.
That might relate to this information that James got from this Dolphin group, that channeling about the problems, the earthquakes and all that stuff. Maybe it's related to that.
And it was goddamn painful. It was bad.
Peter, is she Heather, sort of like Heather? Like Heather?
Yeah, like very similar. Like how can I say it? Like a sibling-ish stuff.
Wow.
But it is not about, how can I say it? About pure, how can I call it? Like pure power. No. Rather than that, how? Where and how? Do you know what I mean? Like technique. You don't need to use that much power once you know where and how to use, do you know what I mean, certain stuff. And this, like, it is not true what you said. James liked me and all kind of that stuff. And I was like, what? It's not true.
What did I lie about, Peter?
Not lied, liked. That no. That
I liked her.
Yeah. This is it. Sorry if I pronounce it incorrect. Then sorry. Once again, James liked me, and I was like, it's not true. He realized that it was fake stuff. Yeah, it was too late, but it doesn't matter, because too late, because you was like pulled into this project. But she considered her mission, in quotes, mission, as successful, and she believed that it is not like that love her and all kinds of that stuff. And man, I don't know if my voice is correct, but this is, I heard like sorry, I don't wanna use rough words. I need to watch my language.
So yeah. Did she go back in James's timeline and show up in different places and do
Yeah,
things.
that's a problem. I mean, I don't know if this is the stuff we really not want to talk about, because this is like, what in the world?
Well, if you stop talking about the time when I asked about Max Spears, because he was murdered in Poland, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. This is not coincidence. And then I don't know. It's like I can't speak. I don't know why. I can hear the stuff, but
She took your voice.
yeah. And she told me, this is not good. This is not good. They know. And you are here with them now. And I was like, what? Because technically I know certain stuff, okay? I know certain stuff, but I wasn't, how can I say it? Not there, but do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't go through all those regressions you, James, talked about, and you, Jessica, you know, so I didn't get all the details, only very, how can I say, like, barely stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, what? Hey, you get the wrong guy. And she was like, and now everything will get out. No, I need to prevent this. I was like, geez, man, she was upset, man.
But this is the reason why super soldiers don't want to, some of them don't want to show up, is because of what happened to Max Spears. Because
And
they want to
he was
information.
killed in her homeland in
Yes.
Poland. What is, just by the way, it is north from my motherland, from Slovakia. Just by the way, just by the way.
Yeah, but that's almost like, challenging, like this. I mean, I believe, I don't know if they know who actually did that. I didn't read the story that deeply. James, you would know, but clearly there was some agenda or mind control involved in these programs, and they don't want us to know what's happening to us.
Yeah, but I'm just, what the heck? And she was goddamn furious. It was.
We should be furious. We should be, because they're playing these games with us.
But you know, it's like, yeah, and she's goddamn powerful. She's very powerful.
Where does she get the power from? Is she an astral being?
No, I don't know. Maybe she is. I don't know. But she was in how can I say it? Incarnated into physical body, and it's like, what in the world? That's, man. It's like, she's not that big. You know, like what? It is like I don't know, like what it is, like 1 meter 70 centimeters, so it's like 5'7" approximately, or something like that, you know. And it's like, I mean, this is nonsense. She cannot be that crazy, you know, powerful. And what? Man, that's bad. That's bad.
Was she part of the Vril?
I don't know, but she's really angry that you are here on the show, James. She
Well,
don't.
I'm not the one saying anything bad about her. I don't even remember this person.
No, actually, like, even to talk about Abatava and all kind of that. But man, once we will stop to talk about that publicly, they will win. They will win.
It's the subjects that we're talking about. It's informing people about what's been going on and what's been happening to them is what gets them angry.
Yeah, but this is crazy, man. This is like.
And her name is Julia. Is that what you said?
Julia. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Julia, yeah. You are right.
And her role at Montauk is just like a pimp, essentially.
Yeah, but technically she's a leader of big
groomer.
team.
Maybe groomer is more the word.
A handler?
Maybe.
Groomer, what did he call it? A honey something?
Honey trap.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, and can you comment if Montauk is still going on and she's actively involved?
Yeah, she is. I mean, both of, the answers to both of your questions are yes. Yeah, in order make it right, but this attack
But I
was
thought it was
crazy.
shut down. I mean, in the pocket reality where they rescued us. We talked about that last time.
That's the problem, my friend. Once someone is messing with time and realities and spaces and all kind of that stuff, and of course, what is it? The context of existence. It is not hard, but almost impossible to figure out what the heck is real for me or for you or for Jessica or from all of our listeners. They will hear this like, okay, and what the heck is in quotes really real? Do you know what I mean? And that is a problem. Like, what? This isn't me, or this wasn't my past, and that's the problem, because there can be this, and it is not only, or it should be not only time, but chronospherical. That means like chrono, it's time, and spherical, like how can I say it, like space paradox or something like that. And there's like, what is it? Nonsense. Am I paralleling myself? So you will say like B James, like A James, you have like in quotes your normal version, and they be like, do you know what I mean, like another version, and it's like, what? And you will see like 10 another versions of you or whatever, and it's like, no, I don't buy this, I don't like this. And this can pretty much happen pretty much very easy. Once you did, so I like to say, once you go to the belly of the beast, that means once you open, I don't want to say open, once you are close enough to wormhole, because it is not like, okay, but how the hell you cannot, I mean, people ask, they are keep constantly asking me, okay, Samey, explain. You are talking about the portals, and how the heck is possible that wormhole is not a portal? Because it is in quotes mother or father, call it however you like, of the all portals. So if you go in quotes in the belly of the beast, and you are like, what? Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Confused, because you don't know what the heck is real for you. Once again, for you, and what is not. It is like absolutely the same stuff as in the Matrix. You know, like you are in the room or hallway or whatever, and no, just please don't close the door, because it is really like that. You open the door again, and the whole different context of existence can be on the other side of the door. That's the, that's the case, and that's the stuff. In this case, they misused. I mean, in the Montauk project, because misused, for used for bad purposes. And this attack was crazy, man. It's like, is my voice normal? Because the choking was so crazy, man. It's like, and my chest, I've got the pressure on my chest. Yeah.
You okay?
I mean, yeah, but once she she was doing that. I mean, she's some real deal. This is a real deal in martial arts. You know, it's like, what in the world?
Does she want me to say that I forgive her or anything like that? Without...
I don't know, James.
Okay.
It was like she was furious that you are here talking about the stuff. And it is not that you didn't mention her and I did. It is technically, basically, that we are talking about Abatava and all kind of that stuff. And help me, Montauk project. But what the hell? We should tell people how it is. And this is it. Not how it was, my friend, how it is. Because as you asked this question, if it is still going on, yes, it is. And it is a big problem. It is an issue. What the heck?
Well, do you want me to continue on here with
sorry, I will shut my mouth. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Well, I only had a few more things left to say about the contact with Washington. The first one thing I wanted to know is because at Montauk sometimes they would send us back in time to embed us with world leaders and presidents to see if they were pedophiles, and Washington was not a pedophile, for anybody who was wondering. So at least that's what we were able to get. But so my sole connection with Washington was that he actually knew me in that time. I guess I was alive back then, but I also have a connection with Saint Germain, and so did Washington. Saint Germain showed up a few times, but yeah, he was working with trying to stop the French Revolution and working with Napoleon until he went crazy. And he helped create the United States of America, so we have that to thank him for. But I was asking Washington, what did he think about King George III? And he pretty much said nothing much good to say about it. I asked him about the creation of the Illuminati secret society, and he said that when it was first created, there was good intention behind it, but it quickly turned bad, just like the Clintons had good intentions when they first started, and so did Hitler. So yeah, it quickly got off track, and it became dominated by reptilian world domination and hive mind. So I asked a little bit more about when he actually knew me back in that lifetime. He said I was around his estate when I was a kid, so that's my lifetime. But I also asked him about the creation of the Federal Reserve and the IRS, and he said that Washington considers them thieves, criminals. They're undermining the country, the economy, usurping democracy, forcing people into debt. There's no need for any of these organizations. They will fail when ascension takes place, and because they siphon our energy, keep us locked up. And I think we can pretty much all agree with that. He says, the planet will shift around 2025, and okay, so that's pretty much it. And he said that Donald Trump was a fragment of Saint Germain. Kind of interesting there. Does anybody? Yeah, that's.
I've seen Saint Germain around Washington, D.C. and interacting, communicating telepathically to Donald Trump. I've definitely seen that. And he was very active. And then for a while there, I didn't see him anymore. And that's about the time when Trump was having trouble. Is like I don't know what happened to Saint Germain, but he wasn't as present around him. And then I kind of went looking for him to see if there was a problem. And then I think Trump started doing better again because he got sick there for a while, and then there was some other things happened. Yeah.
Peter, we've never talked about Saint Germain on our show. Do you have any information about the guy?
Technically, he's kind of how can I say that? You know, the stuff is that it's complicated with him because he's still doing the stuff that it's part, let's say it that way, it's part of what? secret mission. Let's talk it that way or call it that way. And you know, once you are not have a dead wish, fact is, you know, you don't want to jeopardize your own mission. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what in the world? No, it's nonsense. You know, but he is very important. He how can I say it? The role, his role is very important. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So you don't want to discuss it because he's still doing missions, and it's just best to...
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, no. Make it easy. I want to discuss it so bad because he's very important part of the missions. All the missions he's doing, they are very practically those missions. I mean, our existence, like it or not, is depending if those missions will be successful or not. But the problem is, I cannot talk about that because of this, because they are still going on, and that's the problem. To be perfectly honest, and I will not watch my language, I am pissed off because, you know, once it is so good, and the story, story is not story, it's like it can be fake, but the revelation will be very good. Then, you know, once you cannot talk about it, you cannot, you know. But yeah, once the mission will be, or missions, sorry, will be over, I will be very happy to talk about it. My tongue is itching to talk about it. Sorry for that.
Well, can you hint if it's associated with Nasara?
Yeah, but no, I don't want. I can't.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I know.
Well,
I know. What are you talking about? Yep, you're right.
Jessica, you have a comment?
I was looking something up, and I'm trying to find it really quick. And because there's this character here, and I'm looking for the actual statement. It's an individual by the name of Lafayette, who I really felt was connected to Biden. And during this time, there is actually, it's very weird. It's like a parallel where there's a conflict over who's going to be president. And I'm just looking for, and it happened during this time here, and I think it's like an echo of that same situation. And I'm just trying to find the link. Really, I don't know why I have trouble. This might be it. No, that's not it. But anyhow, I can keep looking for it while you guys are talking. But it's an interesting little piece of history that happened, and so it's like playing out what we've already played out before. There's like these weird repeats and echoes of things that happen, especially with individuals coming into power, and then their personal life soul journey or whatever they did sometimes comes in, you know, in a prominent way, and it was something to that nature. So I was just trying to look it up really quick.
All right. Well, yeah, I also had something here. You channeled Voltaire way back in the day. This was in 2018, and Saint Germain actually, because Saint Germain worked with Voltaire, and that's where the connection with that was. So that was really quite fascinating. That video is on my channel from years ago. But anyway, well, should we move on?
Yeah, we can move on, and what I'll do is when I find that actual link, then I can either read it or we can have a link to it, and people can look it up later. So, all right. So let's talk about where would you like to go next?
Next topic.
Well, just I do want to bring in that Julie just said that there would be suffering, sorrow, and pain, and you were starting to bring up a channeled information that you got, but it was related
But
to
what the heck is that? It is bad. What in the world? It's not okay. It's all wrong.
You mean about the Project Crystal Gates?
Project Crystal Gates. Yeah, I'm wondering if it has something to do with that, and so if you want to bring in that information next.
Okay, so this information was with assistance. I did some regression work, and I'm going to give a shout out to Veronica. Thank you very much for your help. I appreciate it, because she participated with me in this project together. And Project Crystal Gates is a Dolphin super soldier program that took place. What we got was around 1973, and it was at a facility. Well, the word Ridgeport came up, but I don't think that's accurate. Maybe Peter. I don't know, Peter. If you have information on what we're talking about. Oh, what you got?
I'm just going to show a picture real quick. This is
I think
a Mobius print. It says Mobius print, the Crystal Gate.
It's pretty accurate, and I was like, what? And technically,
look at the ship behind it.
Yeah, it is definitely not coincidence. Yep.
Right. So, sorry, James.
Well,
yeah.
I might be able to tie some of that together with what I'm discussing.
Right.
So, essentially what the military was trying to get their hands on, or this planetary corporation, because I don't really know who was doing it, who was responsible, but what we were getting is that dolphins have the ability to open up portals in a pod. So a group of dolphins together in a pod can open up a portal, and they can travel anywhere in the oceans on this planet, and they can also go to a catechin spaceship that they created using their thought energy. I think it's stationed over Saturn or Jupiter, but it's somewhere in my notes. And from that giant catechin ship, they can go to other water worlds through portals. They also said whales have the same ability to create these portals without being in a pod. They can do it individually, so they're even more powerful beings. And that's one of the reasons why the military was trying to get a hold of these portals, because they wanted access to these other realms. What they did, is at least that's what we were able to get through this regression, is they created an avatar body that was half dolphin and half our DNA, depending on the kids that were part of the project. And they were doing like blood transfusions between our bodies to this hybrid, this crossbreed dolphin, and our soul consciousness from the dolphin and for myself would go into this clone body together. So we had like a twin braided soul, and then they would put us in a tank and we would be tested. They would they would throw a baby in the water with a shark in the pool, and they would instruct us to go in there and try to rescue the baby and keep before the shark got it. And and the dolphins, they originally participated in this project. They thought the military, they didn't trust the military. They thought that it was all nefarious to begin with, but they wanted to give it a shot and see what would happen. And when they clearly saw that they were abusing the children, they decided to pull out. They just couldn't deal with it no more. But the name of my particular dolphin that I was twin braided with was Osiris, and he likes to.
Now we've got the problem.
What? I'm not following. What?
No, we're bringing up the topic of Osiris. We'll bring that up afterwards. Why don't you finish your story?
Okay. So Osiris wants people to see him wearing a rainbow mohawk, and he likes human hair. It just makes him look different. And he is like the head of this pod. So inside, we were taken in this facility that it looks like a dome on the bottom of the ocean. I think it's on the bottom of the ocean because kind of see yourself coming in and out of the water. The kids look about 14 years old, And once we go when we go into the Dolphin body, of course we're in the tanks, being tested, or they send us into the ocean and do missions. And then after the missions, we come back to the facility, and then our soul would exit the Dolphin and go back into our human form, so that way we can walk around the base. We don't be stuck in a tank all day. So so the Dolphin body would go to sleep. And then, as far as I do have a telepathic communication with them, and they said, they were also looking for ways to like find cures for regrowing limbs, body parts, finding cures for humans with for a particular type of DNA. But like I said, so. The Dolphin told me in this telepathic message that they shut the program down after only 18 months, and the Dolphins just got tired. They were upset on the children being tortured, and they just stopped cooperating. And then the Dolphins were released. The program was shut down, and then these frozen bodies that we were in are put on ice. And I think they're still on ice down there. I guess maybe they think they can resurrect this project, as if that's ever going to happen. But anyway, so the Dolphin said in this communication, "We remember the kids and is sad what the humans did to them. Keep loving yourselves. There are solutions to everything. Keep talking to us when you're afraid. We will always smile and we are happy. Keep loving, have fun, and explore. Enjoy the rain and thunder. Some humans are really nice, and some humans are mean and disgusting because we are too happy. They retired us early because we are becoming too sad. We will not participate anymore. I see your memories located in a circle green submarine. You're going to be free soon. You're going to be happy. You're going to be married. Don't worry about money. Your memories, you don't need money for. Your cubes are going to sell more. You're going to write another book. They're experimenting with us now underneath Sandia National Labs. The ocean goes deep under there. It's very deep. Numerous kilometers. It is very pretty here. There's a blue plant that we eat. There's so much food here, you could feed the whole planet, but you gotta dig deep. I know you humans want to be all by yourself. Stop fighting over stupid SHIT. All have a connection. There's a common ground. Peace and who we are work together, those who are coming. There are new human babies that are being born who are telepathically talking to all of us. You guys are awesome. The projects have to come to a pass. We can go. I only got a little bit more. Okay, we can go off world. There are other oceans and worlds and natural portals that we can go to, but we won't tell them. The Cabal. That's the way they said it. We won't tell them. They can't.
They are speaking in a mysteries or so, some sort of like It's, do you know what? It's kind of cute, funny, but on one hand, but on the other hand, what the heck is that about? You need to be super cautious and think twice or 3 or 4 times in order to get it. Yeah, you are right. Sorry, just go ahead.
Okay.
Continue.
I'll continue on here. Yeah, sure. They can't take this information from us. They cannot take it. It's in our spirit. They think we are dumb, but we have secret frequencies. You humans dream this as numbers and sounds, but for us, it's frequency and vibration, which is your higher self. We're going to cause an earthquake and take the Cabal out soon. There's going to be a shift in the Atlantic, New Mexico, and Canada. Something's going to happen to South Africa. I'm sorry. There are going to be people that will die. But they signed a contract. They got to remove the dumbass politicians. It will happen underwater. I think there's going to be a tsunami there. There has to be something that needs to be done. Something needs to be done about 5G. Other super soldiers who think they have no futures, they do. We need the ones to wake up. You guys have each other. We are all one. All the other clones we can telepathically communicate with. How do we assimilate? You can't get rid of us, but we love you. We forgive all. So here's another one. Do you want to continue, or do you want to just pause here and comment about this? How about the Sandia National Labs? Can you confirm, Peter, if they're underneath?
Do you know what? Actually, it's so good because technically there is nothing. What is inaccurate of? I don't know. How can I call it?
Where is this located at? Where was this place where they were under glass, under the water?
I think it might have been the Atlantic, maybe Jackson facility. I don't know, Peter.
Definitely Jackson.
Jackson.
Because that's come up in my file. They said date of chair, Jackson facility.
Yeah, this is
but
it.
that
But
was
this is
19.
it.
But that read is 1986. So this was 1973.
Yeah.
But it
What is
could
the
still be
problem?
going on there at that time, right?
Yeah, that's
All right,
true.
so you said Dolphin, and yesterday when I was talking to Olaf, I saw Dolph Lundgren. Is there a connection?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking Peter.
Oh.
You know that nothing is coincidence. You know it.
He came up. I could see him. I could literally see him, like the super soldiers, and there are about 5 of them connected or standing together. And he was looking at me, and Peter said, "Well, before we started our phone call, someone said hello to him as if they were me, and it was like a man's voice or something." And
No,
Peter
no,
was,
not men's, but like how can I say it? Like masculine women. Like, do you know what I mean? Like no, like those women, they are in army or training a lot in the fitness. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. And
like a
their
stronger
voice is getting much deeper. Do you know what I mean? Like that. No.
So Peter was like, "I don't know if this is you or not."
You
You know
know,
who?
but I was like, what in the world is that, man?
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
say
was.
hello. I went into the conversation like, "Oh, we're ready to do something," and someone else said hello, like as if it was my voice
Before it. I was like,
before
what the
before I
heck
even
is
picked
that?
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no, I don't like that at all.
So
Yeah.
then while we were talking to Olaf, I could see them and they were waving, and it was Dolph Lundgren. It looked like Dolph Lundgren, but you bringing up the dolphins, and then I also there's a term in the French history, they call them the Dolphin, which is
Yeah,
also
that's true. That's true.
so there's they're are they humanoid? Are they these dolphins that are communicating with James?
Yeah, they are human. No, you know humanoids, but technically, yeah. All of us, we know what we are talking about. Yeah.
There was a well-known super soldier, but no one really talks about him very much anymore. But they called him Dolphin Boy. I'm trying to remember what his name was. Do you know what I'm talking about, James?
No, I mean I
Is
know
it
there's other
Andrew
people's.
or what the heck was his name? I guess he had some incredible abilities, and he was hybrid. And I figured you would know right away because I don't know, someone shared it with me years ago. I just can't think of his name right now. But they called him Dolphin Boy, and he when he would talk, his eyes would like he had something going on with his eyes that were different. They would move back and forth really fast. Like
Was it Aaron McCollum?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. What we are talking about. Yeah.
All right,
Exactly.
was he involved with these programs, or was he connected to anything that?
Well, he was
James
part
is
of Project Seagate. Is what he
Seagate.
called it. So,
Yep, exactly.
So the Crystal Gate project that was shut down quickly back in the 70s. So they may have reconstituted it as this new project.
Because the man, the how can I say it? The outcomes. I mean, it was very, and I mean very expensive, and they want to have.
What? They want to have what?
Uh-oh. Another touchy subject.
Because I was curious, like, how do they actually treat the children? If Peter has any more information on that, because I know the Dolphins they didn't like how we were being treated.
Peter, are you there?
Well,
I just heard him breathing.
I can go continue on the second half of the communication if you want. For waiting for him to get back.
Yeah, but then he can't comment on it because he's not hearing it. Is he?
Uh-oh.
Peter, you there? Because I don't see that he's muted.
Huh.
But if that Julia doesn't like what we're talking about, or somebody else.
So
maybe,
I just find
maybe.
there you are.
What's going on, Peter?
Try to guess what.
Was it Julia again?
She's not happy.
Was she part of Crystal Gates as well?
Yeah.
Can she tell us what they did to us?
I don't know. This should be not revealed. This is very dangerous. Slippy and slicky. What the heck is that? This is crazy. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, they don't like these projects being talked about.
well, so I mean, I can continue on here with the communication with the Dolphin. Would you
Okay.
like? All right.
No, just go ahead.
Okay. So this is from Kim. Many thanks to you for channeling this for me. We will not allow for interference in these waters. We will guard these portals and we'll keep these portals. And by the way, she's channeling Osiris. They do not belong to the collective pod, but Osiris is in there. Okay. They do not belong to the negative ET on the planet and all who is listening. Everyone is listening to us, these portals. Both positive forces and negative forces in the Council of 55. We are greeting you as the service population to join forces with the humans and not direct experimentations. We are here to install and activate the grid lines of planet Earth. We are here to assist the awakened population of planet Earth together. We have formed a net around the planet to feed the grid through the awakened population, who then grounds the energy into the Earth, which powers up the new grid, resulting in awakening of souls who are not awake. The energetic grid is the energetic foundation for planet Earth's new government and monetary systems. Quantum computers will be hooked up to the grid, and there is a unified connection which connects all of us together in a fifth dimensional reality. That's how we change reality. It starts with energetics. Like a sculpture, you start with a mesh outline, and the clay goes on top of the clay. We Dolphins are installing the wire mesh so the humans can put the clay on top. We would like to extend an invitation for a reunion to our pods to open the portal. A pod of dolphins can merge their consciousness and open a portal, but only whales can open portals on their own. There's a spacecraft in orbit over Jupiter, which we dolphins portal to quite often. And from there, we can portal to other planets. The ship outside of Jupiter is a catechin station used as a jumping off point and out of the solar system. We have the ability to create with sound, so that's why the secret space program was interested in our species. We don't need to be an industrial species to make a spaceship. We use our quantum computers connected to our DNA, and bam, you have a ship. And there's a lot of emphasis on that bam, like it's super easy to do it. Osiris's pod is currently located outside of Brazil right now, as this was a couple months ago. There was something going on underground in South America. They are cleaning out underground bases. Dolphins have the ability to send waves which cause destruction. They are rumbling earthquakes on some of these underground bases in South America. They are trying to get the gophers, reptilian drug lords, etc. out from the ground. If they shake up the bases, they come out of the ground. That's how they work with the light forces. Then they can send sound waves through the continent wherever these bases are. They are trying to get the reptilians out of Mexico. The cartels are working with the reptilians. They're trying to get them out of the underground so the life forces can snatch them. The sound waves cause the reptilians to lose their psychic connection. The reptilians have countermeasures, but they are not that effective. They are messing with some technology that the reptilians use. Is an exotic piece of technology that comes from another universe. The Dolphin program lasted only 18 months around the mid-1970s. We Dolphins shut it down quickly after they were trying to turn the humans into slaves, but they were torturing us also. We agreed to work with them on a trial basis only, but they took it too far. We didn't believe what they were about. For example, they would train us by throwing, the thing with the shark, their intentions were obviously nefarious. We Dolphins are curious about the merger of human and dolphin entities. We were also interested in merging the gap between our species, our societies, they said. This would have been a successful project had it been more future-oriented. We would have stayed longer, but they were only interested in exploiting whatever gifts we had, and that was unacceptable to us Dolphins. There have been many attempts to jumpstart the programs many times in your zoos, but we are disgusted. The animals do not do well in captivity. We have volunteers who will live for a while in the zoos, but it is our desire that you know about us, but it's very difficult for a volunteer in the zoos. There were several pods that the program had access to. We speak as one unit, but there's normally one unit in our pod which would come forward to communicate. Osiris did the honors in James's pod. We hope to see you soon. We will come to meet you soon. Intuitively, we should set the intention to help you out. It says, last paragraph. Okay. Your current physical vessel is subject to painful physical experiences as a result of two consciousness being intertwined. It has caused confusion, low self-esteem, and linguistic challenges. But it wasn't all bad. When you are in a dolphin body, it feels amazing to move through the water so quickly. Dolphins are very sleek. It's a lot of fun to fly through the water, and it's an enjoyable experience for humans too. We are so happy you're working with us finally, and glad you made contact, and hope to speak with you soon. So that's it. Thank you for allowing me to read that.
Okay. Well, I think it reminds me of some of these hybrid crossbreed groups, Peter, that are kind of interacting with what's going on the planet. But I'm pretty sure that the originals, this is not the original Osiris, but maybe they took on his name, because it just doesn't sound much like his personality as I know him. But I mean, they do that sometimes. They take on other personalities.
You are pretty much right. It's definitely not. Let's say, I don't want to say it is not, but it is like what? It doesn't look right, or
it's some kind of blending of a hybrid group or something. But you said that many of them are the hybrids are pretty much trying to do a lot of things on the planet right now. I don't know. They have freedoms to do that, or
yeah, you are right.
Or is it because humans are kind of doing things with these projects that it's opened up for them to come in and start doing things here? You know, like the portals we talked about. And they, it sounds like they're seem very nice, but I always do get a little skeptical of maybe a hidden agenda. Of that the part that they don't tell you, they always bring the positive stuff forward, and then they don't tell you what the other part might entail. And I'm seeing that as something that's coming up a lot with a lot of information that's coming through.
Yeah, absolutely.
The hybrids. Because I don't know what happens to them when they merge with humans. It's almost like it changes the original structure of the human conscience, as well as then the species, the other species, and it does something different. So I can't quite figure out. Maybe you understand more their personality changes or how it affects them, Peter. But
yeah, it is like it is not only about the body. It's like like change the body. It's like, oh, okay, why not? But how can I say that? Like all the stuff they are pointing at, it's total different meaning and comprehending of how those species are comprehending and getting the links and ties between the stuff in the world. And that's the reason. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like, what? Do you know what I mean? It's like this is not okay. This is nonsense. And this is like not, it is a nonsense. It is not nonsense. It is like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
it's introducing a new paradigm, but they're one group. They're they're one hybrid crossbreed, but then another hybrid crossbreed has another view of how the new paradigm should be, and so you're having like these multiple ideas, and that's why a lot of people are conflicted. Like, well, this is supposed to happen, and then other people will say, well, no, this is supposed to happen, and it depends on who they're connected to regarding these hybrid crossbreeds, because they have freedom, they have some kind of freedom, or they're introducing new
absolutely. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting how this comes about. But getting back to what I thought was pretty cool, where Peter and I were talking earlier, and Peter started bringing up some information about these cats that are showing up around the planet.
It's like, what in the world is that? It's like
the ocelot, or what's the other word?
Caracal. Yeah, caracal.
Which is amazing looking cat species. They're really phenomenal looking, and they're highly intelligent, and they seem to be observing, almost like should I say surveillance in a way?
Yeah. If you want to call it that way, then yeah. Technically, it's like something like that. Yeah.
So I said to Peter, he asked me, he goes, "What do you think is going on?" And I looked and I saw the original Osiris, and he was like sent the cats to look around, and someone, and Peter, you said, how did they come? How do you think they came in? I said, well, when people do regressions, when people are very interested in ancient Egypt, they're opening up these portals, and then all these, and they're not trying to, it just happens in the process. And this is why we have a lot of like ancient stuff bleeding through into our reality. And so so we were looking at Osiris, and then I said, well, it reminds me of that when Jean-Claude Van Damme was in the Universal Soldier, and he had the bald head and kind of like that. He sort of looked that way, but it's not Jean-Claude Van Damme, but it was one example of it. And so we were talking about that before James came in, but I also had a friend contact me who is a huge cat lover, and she said to me, and I'm looking at the message right before the show, and she said, well, there's something strange. There was a cat in my space that I've never seen before, and his eyes were, let's see if I can get the exact statement that she made. Hold on. All right, so she said, the cat's not normal. She ended up staging her apartment. She says the eyes were green, and they were kind of radioactive color and did not look real.
This is crazy. This is what in the world?
And she sent this to me around, well, we started the show at 12:30. She sent that to me at 12:16.
Oh, man.
And I never said anything to her.
Man,
so
this is
something going on.
Definitely something going on. Not okay.
All right, so what's going on with these cats, Peter?
I don't know. I want to ask you. Man, this is not okay.
So it looks like they're gathering information from us, but they don't.
Yeah, because they are goddamn intelligent. It's not just some random stuff. It's like, what in the world? It's like, yay.
Then let's see if I can. I'm going to open up to this. Hold on a second. I'll share the screen real quick, and so you can see. And so we were looking at Bastet, the cat goddess of Egypt.
This is it.
And essentially has a similar type of ears.
Very similar. And I was like, what? Hey, what? Wait, what the heck in the world is that? Yeah.
And there's what Jean-Claude Van Damme looked like in that Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning. Here's what they look like.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing looking.
Actually, I like them. They are kind of cool.
Yeah.
But they can get very excited and wild pretty easy, because they were domesticated only, I don't know, few decades ago, and they were wild cats, so
Yeah. So somehow James's story, your information of what's coming up has some connection here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just want to add that I know that James, you still have a ton of stuff you want to talk about. But I just wanted to bring in that part. I don't know if you do you feel like you covered the topic regarding George Washington, which I'm glad that you did that. I think it's really timely, and also Project Crystal Gates. Or if you want to go on to Avatava.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm good with all that. So yeah, I mean, as far as the only thing else, the Sandia National Labs is the only thing I wanted to touch on is, so apparently a lot of the ocean, I would say all the oceans, there are giant chambers underneath in the continent where all the oceans connect together in these giant rivers, and there are aquatic creatures down there that never come up to the surface. I mean, maybe Loch Ness Monster would be example, but some of the dolphins.
That's actually good example, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good example. That's good.
Yeah. And another creature that came up in another channel communication was a water dragon. So there are different. I just assumed they were elementals, but apparently there are creatures like that down there. And
they existed a long time ago, and some of them still exist. We just don't have. We know more about space than we do about our oceans, unfortunately. I don't know why.
And this is the problem, at least from my point of view. It's like, what in the world? Yeah.
Yeah, so these ocean, the Pacific goes clear on all the way underneath New Mexico. That's near Albuquerque, the Sandia National Labs. And then I'm assuming it probably goes all the way underneath the continent. Who knows? Deep in the planet, crisscrossing. So there's a lot to once we can get down in these chambers. There's a lot of this whole planet that humanity is not even aware of down there. But okay, so let's go to the Avatava. So this is a parallel reality in which the Nazis won World War II. So over there, I'm having multiple existences, but this particular one is a reality in which the Japanese was controlling the West Coast, but Alaska remained sort of a no man's land. Here, I was in prison with other kids, other starseeds, in a gulag setting, and they were brainwashing us, indoctrinating us, and they were using Sumerian magic. Sumerian is a language of the ancient super soldiers. It's used as a base language for secret space program. We've actually talked about this a little bit on our show, Peter.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, do you know what? It's kind of good that we will fresh this kind of stuff, because it's, do you know what I mean? It's good from my point of view. All
right. And so there was a sign nearby, the Avatava. Well, the Avatava itself is about 2 miles long, and there's a sign nearby that says Super Soldier Base. So at this facility, I went by the name of Derek Reinhold, and I was training with a group of about 30 other kids. We're all about the same age, 14. I think James Casbolt and Max Spears were there. And then typically our day-to-day life was we were being sent out to the bush in a hover snowcraft, and I was wearing a super soldier black suit. Our goal was to basically patrol the area and conduct exercises and hunt each other each day. They often pit us against each other. Everyone speaks in German, and our instructor is German. So reach out to this Derek, and he says that he is not happy because they are pinning us against each other. He feels like they're just wasting his time. He says he's been there for 8.5 years, and they transfer him in and out of programs all the time. Derek says he's not aware of my presence here in this reality, but as he only knows himself as Derek. he asked me about my life. I mentioned that I'm living here in North Carolina, and I tell him about some of my hobbies, and I'm into hip hop dance and so on, and break dancing, and I'm not going to go too much into that, but he seems confused. He doesn't understand what hip hop is.
Of course, it's man. It wasn't like what what? Yeah, it was like that. Yeah.
Yes. So apparently, in that reality, the Nazis suppressed black soul culture from developing, and also, yeah. So there was like no rap music or hip hop or anything like that. So yeah. He also says that he wants to learn how to surf in Virginia Beach, and he starts talking Virginia Beach like it's this amazing place. Of course, as we know, the Nazis controlled the East Coast. So anyway, uh, he said that he loves plants. His hobbies include firing weapons, training in ancient art, sword fighting, training with advanced weaponry, ancient weapons like samurai training. And he says he doesn't. He also complained about not having too much time to have fun. It's just basically training all the time. I told him that they're going to erase his memories at the end of his training and replace them with happy memories of being with a surrogated family, probably in Virginia Beach. He says he's not aware they will wipe his memories. He is upset, but not much he can do about it. He said he's glad to meet me. He said the year is 2042, and equivalent in our timeline as the same time as 2020 in our reality. So I'm not quite sure. There's some weird time loop that's occurred in our timeline. We're supposed to be 2042, but it's not really 2042.
Does that have anything to do with that future self that I saw of you, or is that another time? Do you remember that? That I said I saw you as a soldier in the future?
Well, it could be. I mean, but this is another alternate reality, so I don't
know what reality that was. I remember I had communicated, and I went to contact you because I was trying to figure out what was going on and why he showed up around me, or you showed up around me, but you were from the future.
Okay. Well, this the last little bit I have on this is he says there are significant time memory lapses. They trained me, killed me, and wiped me out. I'm living two lives simultaneously. I was training and regenerating during the time I was offline, and when I died back in '79 as James Reelsberg. That's another timeline we can go into later, another date. This is what is causing memory lapse issues. The memories may not come through in memories, but rather in feelings. You need to develop that connection to get the full memory download. So from there, I think he was re-aged. From 2042, in the other reality, he was sent back in time to Mars, to the MCC in the 1940s in our reality, and that's where he was used as a super soldier for a colonel on Mars. But yeah, that's essentially what I got on that. If anybody wants to add anything to that.
I'm just looking back and seeing if I can track maybe an old conversation of what happened.
Peter, can you confirm if this Abitava was 2 miles long?
Do you know what? That's actually how can I say it? Like what in the world is that? Because it's so accurate. Like what in the world?
Were you there? Were you one of the kids? Did they train you? Abitava?
No, but let's say I've got valuable source, like trustworthy source of, what is the stuff about.
Yeah. And I was
I involved with that, Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I doing?
Is this triggering your memories, Jessica? Do you?
There's so much of this stuff in Germany that happened to me, and just like the whole. Before I met Peter, before I knew about any of this stuff, I was doing a regression with this man who's, I don't know, he started doing regressions in the 70s. He was about 90 years old, but he was still so very alert. And he would I would go and jump into the future. I'd jump in all different places. And this is, prior, I did a bunch of regressions like you're doing now. And I remember all of a sudden I was on, what's it called, the Eagle's Nest, and here I was looking
Eagle's
at Hitler,
Nest.
and I remember I could not move my body. I was almost like I don't know if it was fear. We were all afraid of him. He had an energy about him that was very, very powerful, and he was trying to probably calm me down, because he was picking flowers or something and showing like he was interested in nature and that I don't have anything to worry about. And I was watching that whole scene, and I'm like, that's really wild. Why am I looking at this? I was there. And then there was another scene where I was literally in that big place where they have the black sun on the floor. I forget, it's like a castle or something, or some building. And I'm standing there looking, and all of a sudden I started seeing like the camps and seeing people getting killed. And I like, you know, because they had me looking at Aldebaran, and I was trying to figure out, you know, I knew that I was one of the Vril, but I didn't know which one at the time. And I remember just saying, oh, they used me to get this information, but now I see that they're doing this other stuff. And I think the look on my face gave it away, because I looked over, and I remember looking at Himmler, and he's like, she knows.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
like,
was it.
nah, this is not okay. She knows. It. Yeah.
As soon as they knew that and that's because of that incident, they brought me into this lab, and I remember standing in front of Rudolph in the lab, and I was looking at him, and he had these like crystal blue eyes, very, very bright blue eyes. And I was looking at him because then I remembered back that I was a young girl running around in his lab and talking to him. He was kind of taking on like a fatherly role. The whole thing was bizarre to me. I'm like, what in the world have I been involved with? And so then here I am now, an adult, and I'm looking at him like, what just happened? And he couldn't do anything. And then Himmler threw me down a portal. And then that was the end of it. So they threw me into time. And they sent me into the future. They sent me in all different places. They just wanted me out of there so I wouldn't say anything to anyone about what I saw.
Yep, exactly. That is pretty much it, what they want. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so on occasion, you know, I'll have like little memories of what happened there. I also remember a meeting that we had. We were sitting at a table, and Maria Orsic came walking in, and she looked Orsic, but she did not look like the pictures that people showed. She looked like the other picture that people show of her, and she was kind of at the head of the table, and she said, what do you have for information? She looked at me, and I said, well, of course everyone's looking at me. So I said, well, this is what I got. Because if you don't share the information, you're in trouble, and they know it, because the other psychics would tell on each other in a way, you know?
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Right. So
it will be like, nah, big no. You will be in big trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was, you know, standing there looking at them, and I gave the information, and then she just looked at me and smiled, and she went off, and she goes, well, this is the information that I got. So she took my information, and then she said that this is what she got, not that she got it from me. And you didn't argue, because it was like she was put in a position of authority there. And so, but I remember that part. And yeah, there was some other things too that, just like crazy recalls of some of the stuff that they did. They had me up on a ship, on a space station, and I was brought up there by one of the soldiers, and they said, you need to go. They said, you need to communicate with Aldebaran, and they brought me up to the space station. They said, we're going to leave you here.
Yep.
And the soldier literally had his arm around my neck. I was sitting on the seat in the vehicle, and they were going to kill me if I didn't tell them what was going to happen. And then I forget what happens, but somehow then I just kind of blacked out from that incident. So that was another strange situation. But when I went to I went to Norway about a year and a half ago, and maybe it's about a year and a half ago, and we were traveling through, and we just kind of got like one of those like it was someone's house, what are those stay over, it's not a hotel or anything, like something like that. And we walked in there, and I wasn't thinking anything of it, and all of a sudden I look up on the wall and there's a picture, and it was one of the Vril that were in the house, and I interacted with her, but I could see that she was heavily in the program. But I mean, her picture was just about identical to one of the Vril. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was not Heike. It was not Gudrun, but I've seen Gudrun as well. And who was Trauta? It was Trauta. This Trauta. She was right there in Norway. And we had the only place that we had problems was in Norway. The car broke down. We traveled all the way through the whole area, and that was the one location we started to go and look around at some of the areas, and then the car broke down, and we were like barely got home, and nothing happened, but she was still hooked into something. But yeah, I mean, the regressions will bring you in, and you're like, what in the world what have I been involved with?
Yeah, it's like that,
Yep. So sorry, I went on.
No, it's fun. I'm just saying.
But yeah, a lot of the German or the Third Reich programs they put me into. So I don't know if you want to say anything else, James, regarding Otava.
Oh, well, maybe Peter, I mean, it was a gulag, so did they actually intern people there, or was it all just super soldiers being trained there?
Oh, no. So for super soldiers being trained, it's not like gulag or so. Nope. It's not like that. Nope. Okay. It is not like that. Nope.
Have you ever been there?
Oh, yeah. Why?
Is it like super high tech as well? Like underground base?
It is. Believe me, it is.
Okay. And do you know what the main goal is? I mean, what other? I guess maybe making super soldiers.
How can I say it? Make them even more and more perfect or so? Yeah. Like bring it to the next level, if you want to call it that way.
Did they ever bring in black people or people of color, Asians, Hispanics?
It absolutely doesn't matter for them. No.
Like Iron Sky?
It's like, no, it doesn't matter for them. For them, it's only the genetic, the lineage,
Remember, they know who the whole thing with race, it doesn't make any sense because they're looking for souls.
Yeah,
people that they recognize.
You are right. You are right.
That, the body is just people get stuck on that.
Well, do you think I actually consented and I wanted to participate, or they just take me as a kid, or how did that work?
No, you want to participate because you was curious. Like it or not, it's true. It's like, what in the world? Yes, it was
he
like
a Nazi youth?
No, he was curious because he was like, okay, they want to make some sort of experiment. Let's do it. It's like, and you actually didn't, didn't realize what happened.
Was this,
what can possibly happen? Like,
is this from like a My Lab, or was he put into Nazi youth?
no, this is from my labs.
From My Lab, okay, and they made it sound appealing, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they abducted me from my family over there, and I'm doing like a
yeah. Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
So he probably doesn't even remember his family. Abducted.
Yeah, you are right. I don't want to say it definitely, but let's say I think that will be the case. Yeah.
Okay. Can you confirm if James Casbolt and Max Spears were there?
Yeah, but I don't want to get into too much details.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Well, so probably some of the listeners, they might have been over there because I mean, how many people were there? How many of them were training?
I mean, are you serious? There were like hundreds of thousands of people there.
Some of James's friends.
Hey, I don't want to talk about that publicly.
All right. Well, so that's basically all I had about that. So, at least I know it's not as horrible as I thought it would be over there because, the stigma with the NAZI aspect to it. But all right. Well, I have other experiences, but we'll probably need to save it for another time. But we can, because I had some, we have talked about MCC on my show, but I didn't really go too much yet. But from MCC, some experiences in Kruger, as well as on Lunar Operations Command. We can discuss that. And I've got a lot of content on Umbrella Corporation of the Hulk program.
That will be one hell of the show. Believe me, will be.
Yeah, so we could do a show on that. I also have a show. A content on Dark Shield. Leaks it out.
Man, that will be. Do you know what? Actually, only those two stuff can be all. Each of them can be like for 2 releases, 2 shows. Yeah.
And
two
then
separate shows. Yeah.
We still got some information to go over Planet Centaurian, where I was stationed with Jessica.
That will be so good. That will be so good.
I don't have too much information on that, so Peter and Jessica, you have to fill in the dots.
But do you know what? The fact that Julia, attacked me 2 times. It's positive, positive from the way that, it's confirmation that we are talking about the touchy topic. I mean,
right.
not
Does James have anything to worry about, or is she kind of out of the way, or is she?
James evidently absolutely doesn't have a clue. What yes, there is a Julia and all kind of that stuff, but I think that you cannot recognize her or something like that, or can you? I mean, the physical appearance also.
She probably shapeshifts.
Yeah. Sorry, that was dumb from my.
And then she age regresses. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like early 20s or so. Like that, or first half of 20s. Yeah.
Well, I have been getting more needle marks and cut marks. I've got I got a little mark here on my, because I have to kind of.
Oh, this is not a little, my friend.
This is a double prong needle mark. It'd be better just to show you the picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the picture.
And then I also had a laser cut on my arm. I woke up on that. That was from a couple of days ago, but 3 days ago. This was 2 days ago. So I'm getting stuff, and I had something on my leg. So I'm assuming they were extracting some femtotech, or I don't know. I don't say
femtotech. Yeah.
I don't know why they would need to do a huge laser cut for femtotech. They're so small, but so. Do you have any intel on who's doing that to me, Peter? Please, you wouldn't mind sharing?
Give me a second. We just Yeah, this is it what we want to see. Yeah, just I will comment about that, but we just need to see that this is first picture, and there will be, yeah, the second one. Yeah.
So that's the 2-prong needle mark right there. You kind of have to zoom in, but there's 2 injection points.
It's from Montauk, like it or not, it's true.
So that means they're still trying to wipe my memories?
I don't know, because it's like, what in the world? And in the first place, it's like you are no longer active in the first place, and in the second place, there are those groups, we have no goddamn clue where the hell they came from, and they are misusing their trust, their, in quotes, MCC, so Mars Colony Corporations, and they have huge labs, they are unused, and storage rooms on the Mars, and there are many random, because they are really random, like, what in the world? Are you serious? We never ever, I mean, we in ACIO, we never ever heard about this particular company, and they are making their experiments on Mars, and there is a small company. It's tied closely together to show house, you know, and this pretty much the stuff. I mean, like Lotus, yeah, Lotus company.
Lotus.
Lotus, yeah. Lotus, like the flower, like the, how can I say it?
Yeah.
So this is the Mars, and the Shaw House on Mars, and it's called the Lotus Company. It's
no. They are not a show house on Mars, but they are, on Mars cooperating with show house. It's what the
like a joint venture.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But the show house got their own, in quotes, interests on Mars too. But I mean, like, themselves. It's crazy. It's I don't like
Peter,
it.
are you suggesting they are taking femto out of me or putting new femto in? Do
you know what? Actually, they are doing both.
What if I said I don't consent?
What do you mean? You mean like if you don't agree? You mean like that?
Yeah, I don't consent to this.
But they don't. How can I say? They don't. They will not ask you for consent. I mean, of course, any normal people, they are at least some sort of, not fools or so. They will not like such a stuff, but they don't give a shit about that, and I will not watch my language.
But
So
isn't there some kind of universal law?
We have free will, and
my friend, you are absolutely right. But you know how it is with show house. They don't give a shit about the stuff. You know how they are. You know it.
I think we talked about this is asking to pull yourself out of some of these locations that are harming you. I mean, it's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And I do what's called revocations. I can put a link there. I just gave that to you, Peter, too, because you shared an interesting story of some music. And
I don't think this is a good idea to talk about.
We're not going to talk about it as a personal thing, but just general thing, and it was about that, about your connections to an earlier time, and we've all had it. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I think a lot of people are just trying to figure out how to find their way out of this mess. It's like a horrible maze.
Because it is pretty much like, how can I say it? Like, okay, the different stories, that means like people want desperately get out of something. Fine, but this is the problem. Like how can I say, the lines, the ties, everything is different, but it is only one stuff. People are unwillingly trapped in certain, how can I call it, contexts. Anyway, it is, I don't know, like private, I mean personal life, or they've got problems within work or whatever, or with neighbors or something like that. It's like, what? Yeah, Jessica, you are right. You are very, very, very right. Do you know what? Actually, that was one hella good show. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, it's always something interesting coming up.
Because I think that was like oh, sorry.
Yeah, so all this stuff is in my book on the last chapter that we discussed. So I was just kind of skimming. Well, not the George Washington stuff. I'm always getting more information all the time, but you can get this on my website.
So is this the original book, and then you did a republishing of it and added more content, or how did you do this? About every other year or so I update it, but this is going to be the last update soon because I'm already at 315 pages, so I'm going to have to You just go into
book another
2.
book soon.
You do Lone Wolf book 2.
Yeah, do you know what actually?
What?
Just stop it. Write another book and that will be it pretty much.
You'll have more information by the next couple of years.
Yeah,
me.
because
Well, if I had 330 years of experience in the SSP, I'd probably have enough content.
So technically, because I think that this is good point where can we where we can stop the show, and we will leave another topics for next time or next time, because I think.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate
and if you want,
brains here.
And if you want, feel free to promote your stuff, because I think that you've got good stuff. Very, website full of, from my point of view, relevant information and all kind of the stuff. So feel free to do so.
Yeah, Rolf was going to have that on the video, so people will be able to see the link and they can pick it up. It's going to be running throughout the video, so you'll see that.
Thank you.
Like he does with all of the videos. He does a lot of work. Thanks, Rolf. And thank you, James. I appreciate you coming on the show. It's always interesting. And of course, thank you, Peter, for being here and sharing information from the ACIO.
Yeah, thank you. That was one very interesting show. And thank you for giving me a regular opportunity to be on your channel. I'm looking forward
yeah,
for
my
next
channel,
time.
but it's the joint effort, our show, the disclosures. And I just want to say thank you to our audience. Continue listening. Don't forget to subscribe. There'll be more interviews and other things going on. And we appreciate you. Don't forget to listen to the radio, the Andronatox radio, and also updating the website, Readings by Ariel. And we have more things coming in. So thank you. Thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.
You have been listening to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Ariel Morocco. Join us on YouTube channel, Jessica Ariel Morocco, and visit www.peter-insider.com and www.readingsbyariel.com. Remember to post your questions in the comment section below the video. We look forward to hearing from you.